Dan here, part 7.
Nice gloves.
Or is it part 3?
It's part 5.
Part 5. If only we could mail these in the mail.
We might be able to by the time this comes out.
Oh, right. This is the future. I always forget. It always feels like, you know, we do this and instantly upload it. But anyway, this is going to be the satisfying video. I'm not going to lie. So you start off kind of down here and you're like, doot, 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 doot. It's like the roller coaster. And this part is where it's like, wee, and then it's all the rest of the work, which sucks. So today we'll have it tacked together, and I don't know if I'll put this panel in or not down here. I also have ideas for this wheel well, this one, in a future video, but we'll see. So anyways, we're gonna basically put this back section in, we'll kind of tack it into place, and it will look like a Tudor Chevrolet. Tudor. So that's cool. Unfortunately, after that, oh, this is actually, oh yeah, oh, whoops. I pulled these, I thought these were pull clips, but they're actually bolt clips. So somebody in the future will have to fix that. Maybe it'll be me behind the headliner, never gonna happen. Glue them, tack weld them. So we'll do all that, it'll be kind of fun. Step 1, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this down a little bit. I'm going to cut this out as well, so I'll try and, you can actually almost see, like there's a little seam here, so we'll cut that across and then down, and that'll just kind of be open, which is fine. I'll probably grind in here, because these Tri-5 Chevys, we're not going to make it a factory deal, because all this stuff is like, if you actually cut a roof of these, oh, it's a little rust in there. If you cut a roof of a Tri-5 Chevy, there's like so many layers all together, we're not accomplishing that. So this actually, they don't join at the drip rail, they're all kind of up in here, and it has this kind of sealer, you know what I mean? So what I'm going to do is cheat. We're going to grind this out, we're going to weld this right into the top, we can weld the backside there, so it'll be plenty strong, and then all I do is a lot of times is just shmoo a little bit of body filler in there and sand it. It's good enough. This one I'm fighting out for putting the trim back on. We might. So we have 4-door trim, so what you can do, and I've done it before, you just kind of chop it all up and piece it together, and it looks okay-ish, but it's not nice. If we can find real 2-door trim, then you really got something. So we'll put it all together without the trim on it, and that'll be like a future deal, and that's, again, for you to decide how crazy you want to make this thing, or you're just going for a ratty 2-door. So I'm going to cut this out. Oh, and I'm also going to cut in here. So I'm going to run a zip cut and take all this out, and we'll probably have to put a piece in here because the window is going to have to fit in there. Again, I'm not going to have the regulator work, but the window has to fit in there, and we glue it to the outside here. So we got to get all that taken care of. Actually, I was watching a guy on Instagram, and what he did was kind of cool. Instead of using the door, which a lot of times I use the door for the inner structure, he just put a piece of sheet metal in there. It looked very clean. I think I might try and do that, make a pattern, and just see what we end up with. If you want, you can take the door latch off or leave it on there. It's all kind of irrelevant. It's all your level of care and laziness. But for me, it's, will it come out or not? Wrong size screwdriver for sure. So we're just going to leave that in there. We'll come back when this is all kind of butchered out, and then I do got to take this off. Oh, it's bolt on, unfortunately. We're going to have to pull the trim off, or at least 1 or 2 bolts so we can pull away at it, because we're going to end up welding to here. So same thing, we'll clean all this up. This is actually, I think it's pretty much all metal. So it'll be nice to weld to. And then like I said, we're going to weld there. Across the bottom, we're going to have to make a patch. We'll get the post in, which will be really easy. We'll probably actually have to grind a little bit more here and back here. So we got nice clean metal to weld to and go from there. So I'm going to put some headphones in and jam for a little bit. When we come back, this will all be trimmed out. We'll just show you. Don't need to get too crazy with it. Okay, so we got the center bit all kind of cut out there. This can be kind of done after, and I went a little large there, but it's relevant. I mean, realistically, if this was a real 2-door, this would be hollow the whole way, but this gives it a little strength, so I like that. Up in here, it's kind of followed my little piece. I didn't really do any measuring or anything like that. I don't even know if it's going to fit. We have to get in there, be aware of the headliner and all that. This is all got like tarry junk in there, so you don't want to start a fire. I pulled just a couple of clips off of the trim to kind of pull it back. We'll probably end up taking this right off, but for now, this will get it in there. There's actually a little bit of filler down in here, so, but we got enough metal we can weld something to it. At least that's my plan. So now, let's see if we can get this piece all dialed. So I cleaned this up a little bit as well. It should be goodish. Where's this going to live? So, oh, this is actually going to be in my way a little. So I like to close the door on the panel and latch it. I think I showed that in the last video. But those are together. What?
You did show it.
Oh, we did show that? So now, you know that's where that's going to live. Now we're going to be in a situation here, obviously. None of this is going to really want to fit, so we're going to have to kind of get a little eyeball-y here. Do I have a marker anywheres? Yes. So the top bit's what's not going to fit. And it's going to be a hassle. And you could probably do a lot of screwing around and measuring, but I don't want to do that. So that's about where that's going to live. Let's go ahead and just kind of give that a bit of a mark. And then here, same kind of thing. So we'll end up cutting this a little bit off just because it kind of overlaps. And then we can always weld that back in if we have to. So we're going to cut this and this. And then in theory, we should be able to lap. This should fit in, this should fit in, this can lap over. That'll be just fine. And then we just make sure our post is right, because the post we want to make sure is as accurate as possible. Everything else we can fix the welder, the grinder, and all that. Once the post is in, I mean, it's kind of lame to try and take that out again. So I'll just trim this down. And we'll see if it fits a little bit better. I have all the confidence in the world in second tries. Work it. Okay, see if this fits. I've made this mistake in the past, so why don't I make it again? If you cut this down, the door actually kind of swoops back. But I think this is a pretty straightforward deal. Oh, I cut that at a terrible angle. This I meant to cut it that way, but I guess I was working on the backside, so. Such is life. Okay, that's pretty good, but now, oh, I threw my safety glasses in there. Oh, so we're gonna trim, this is tight here, and that's causing this gap here to be a disaster. So we'll fix that. This, we'll probably just fix the welder and then make it look like a piece after. So it's still, that's not bad. So we're gonna have to go ahead and tack this into place-ish. Then we'll work our way around. Except for, we do it in one shot or you want to stop? So what I want to do is we got to kind of work on this door gap. Now, if we get the top gap's nice. And it's a little snug down here, but honestly not terrible. So what we're gonna do, let's just give this a little. So that shouldn't go nowheres. I'm actually gonna give this a little ugly tack. Okay, so that ain't going nowhere. Now we're tight down there, but hopefully, if we bring this panel up just a little bit, get that fix the gap there.
It's a lot bigger.
A little, well, we can adjust that with the door. So now, this is where it gets a little complicated because the 4-door is actually thinner than the 2-door. You can see this. See, this piece of steel is wider than that. So I want to make sure this section is lined up, which becomes a little bit of a trick. Do that. That's not gonna work. I need a pair of vice grips. So, lift that into place. How can I do this? You need to hold this.
Yeah, let me get my gloves.
Okay, so you gotta pull up hard on it. There you go. Okay. Close them up. Let go. So there we go. It's a little gappy. Not bad. Now, gotta kind of, it's all bent here. They're always rotten at the bottom here. Well, not always, but the junk we have. So we'll probably have to remake a little piece there, but let's see how this is gonna fit. What is this hitting on? Okay, I ain't going nowhere. Up top is nice. Should have done a better job of cleaning that. There's a bunch of lead or whatever still in it, but this is sturdy-ish. What do we got? Oh. So we need to screw down a little bit with the door. Needs a little fitment. So it's gappy down there, so the door needs to do a little of that. Okay, this is gonna be nuts. Or we might have to move it ahead just a little bit because this door actually fits really nice. I forgot how we did that. So we might just break those welds and just move it ahead just that little bit. We're setting the door gap right now. So to take a couple of seconds and move it ahead just a 16th isn't the end of the world. You're gonna end up with a gap in there. That's just kind of the nature of the beast. And then we bunged it up there, so that's embarrassing. But luckily we have lots of this piece left, so we can just kind of cut it out, weld piece in, be fine. So let's spend a little bit of time just kind of fitting it. I might need Danny's help, but this is kind of the idea. If you don't like it, we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tack welds. Let's back out, we can move it. So we kind of aligned it a little bit. We got our gap a lot better. It's tight up top here, but the winch or the door can actually be adjusted in, like it's a big gap up there. So we can adjust that in just a little bit. not too bad here, and it's livable-ish. And for what this car is, I think it's gonna be fine. The other reality is, this is off a different car. These are clearly different doors. This was stored miscellaneously. There could be stuff that's a little bent, tweaked, all those sort of things when you're buying used doors. These aren't the nicest doors I've ever used. Danny, on her 57 Chevy, has the nicest doors I've ever found in my entire life. And they fit phenomenal, but they were like mint and cheap. Like usually you don't get those. So now, we have to kind of make this fit. So the door is going to go up and then kind of curve in somewhere like that. So I'm just going to kind of blitz it up, and then we'll work our way up to where we're welding it to. And then this, I really boned this. That's embarrassing, actually. Wish that didn't happen. Where's my grinder? Okay, let's just go ahead and fix this up here. Okay, so we actually eyeballed that pretty good. See, I might have gapped it a little much. Yeah, not bad. So now, let's go ahead and just kind of tack this dealio in. So you can't really go nowheres. So that feels pretty good. Okay. So we've got our piece in-ish. This is really driving me crazy. Now, this panel here, obviously it's not going to fit the greatest down there. The reason is, on a two-door, this piece and the rocker is all in one. On a four-door, the rockers are actually longer. So you gotta kind of keep that in mind. Now what we're gonna do, I mean, it was rotten up until there, so I cut all that out, and that's pretty rotten here. We'll probably, I don't know what we should do. I might, I wonder if I should just blitz this across where the trim's gonna go, and then cut it, and then I can weld it, and the trim will hide it if we put it back on, versus trying to do some weird, goofy patch, you know what I mean? But at this point now, we can, you know, put a few more welds on the post, make sure it's not going to go anywhere. If you're worried about that, actually I do got to get some filler rod. A lot of times I just get some like TIG rod, just weld that in there, or a couple of really ugly, you know, bunch of big globby tacks, and then just fiberglass it, and it's fine. This here, everything worked out pretty nice. Actually, yeah, I think I might be further ahead just to cut it right through here, even though this is some decent metal there. And we have a patch panel right there, which honestly, we'll probably cut it right behind that trim.
With the door that'll fit.
With the door that'll fit, that was on this car. Then we just kind of weld that all in and carry on. But that's, I think, where we're gonna leave it for today, or this video, I should say. It is kind of supper time, but if you just take a step back and kind of squint your eyes, you have yourself a two-door Chevrolet, and now you're just one, you know, patch away. And like I said, they sell this patch. I don't know how high up it goes, if it would go this high or not, but it's this patch and it's the lower, the back section of the rocker. I might even have one, or I had one, I used it on that other 55. But yeah, there you have it. Now, I think I'm radiusing the wheel wells on this thing in future videos, so I don't really care too much how this looks, because a lot of this is going to be blitzed out. Probably go almost all the way up to here into the trim, because I'm going to lower it. I like when like the radius goes real high, because we got a big honking tire on it. But that's a future Dan problem, and you may be a weirdo individual and want to keep stock 55 Chevrolet quarter panels. If that's the case, best of luck to you. There you go. And the next, that's video 4. So there you go. 5 easy steps. There's really only that extra piece, and then the inside trim, and then glass. So I mean, we should be able to have this done in 3 or 4 more videos. We're keeping them short. All right, thanks for watching. Leave a comment below, ask all the questions. See you on the next one.